Hello and welcome to Life in the UK e-learning. We will be going through these practice topics. Question 1. Which two of the following were introduced in the early 20th century? Child benefit payments and free school meals, the National Health Service, NHS, and child benefit payments, the National Health Service and old age pensions and free school meals. The early 20th century was a time of social progress. Old age pensions and free school meals were just a few of the important measures. So old age pensions and free school meals. When did the Battle of Hastings take place? 1066, 1415, 1642 or 1940. The Battle of Hastings took place in 1066. Which of the following statements is correct? Sheikh Deen Muhammad is famous for introducing tea drinking and bungalows to Britain from India. Sheikh Deen Muhammad is famous for introducing curry houses to Britain from India. Explain answer. Just to make you aware that explain answer will not be available on your test. This is just for practicing. Sheikh Deen Muhammad opened the first curry house in Britain in 1810. For which two reasons is Henry VIII remembered? Married 6 times and fought in the Battle of Agincourt. Married 6 times and broke away from the Church of Rome. Introduced the game of croquet and married 6 times. Introduced the game of croquet and fought in the Battle of Agincourt. Henry VIII is remembered for breaking away from the Catholic Church of Rome and marrying 6 times. Married 6 times and broke away from the Church of Rome. Why was the Magna Carta important? It gave all men the vote. It restricted the power of the monarch. It established a system of free education. It gave women legal rights. King John was forced by his noblemen to agree to a number of demands. The result was a Charter of Rights called the Magna Carta, which restricted the king's power to collect taxes or to make or change laws. It restricted the power of the monarch. Who were the suffragettes? Women who left the UK to live in America, women who campaigned for women's votes, women who left their jobs when they got married, or women who stayed at home to raise a family. In the late 19th and early 20th centuries, an increasing number of women campaigned and demonstrated for women's rights, in particular the right to vote. They formed the women's suffrage movement and became known as suffragettes, women who campaigned for women's votes. Which of the following statements is correct? Charles, King of Scotland, was crowned King Charles II of England in 1660. Bonnie Prince Charlie became King Charles II of England in 1660. The Scots declared Charles II to be king. He was crowned King of Scotland and led a Scottish army into England. After defeat at the battles of Dunbar and Worcester, he fled to Europe. In May 1660, Parliament invited him to come back from exile in the Netherlands. He was crowned King Charles II of England, Wales, Scotland and Ireland. Charles, King of Scotland, was crowned King Charles II of England in 1660. In which part of the British Empire did the Boer War of 1899-1902 take place? India, Canada, Australia, South Africa. The Boer War took place in South Africa between the British Army and the Boer settlers who originally came from the Netherlands. South Africa. The term D-Day refers to which event in British history? The Battle of Trafalgar, landing of Allied troops in Normandy, dropping of the atom bomb on Japan, end of the war in Europe in 1945. On 6 June 1944, often referred to as D-Day, Allied forces landed in Normandy following victory on the beaches of Normandy. The Allied forces pressed on through France and eventually into Germany. Landing of Allied troops in Normandy. Which two are associated with Sir Francis Drake? Defeating the Spanish Armada and early flight. Defeating the Spanish Armada and sailing around the world. Early flight and the Titanic and sailing around the world. Sir Francis Drake was one of the commanders in the defeat of the Spanish Armada. His ship, the Golden Hind, was one of the first to sail right around, circumnavigate the world, defeating the Spanish Armada and sailing around the world.